Hi, friends. Welcome to Children's Church. Today we are going to take a step away from our story of Joseph and Joseph's family and reconciliation, which we're going to talk about more later, at another time, I should say. But today, if you paid attention to the worship service today, you would have seen that we are celebrating pride in our church. And not just pride in ourselves or in others, but pride, as in LGBTQ plus pride. So that's why you may have seen a lot of rainbow flags or rainbow fabrics in the worship service. But LGBTQ, if you're not familiar with those letters, that acronym stands for lesbian, gay, transsexual, bisexual, and many other letters in that acronym. So LGBTQ IAP+. So today, we, like I said a moment ago, are going to take a step back from our stuff that we've been learning about with Joseph and his family. And we have a special message from one of the youth leaders at a UCC church in Boone, North Carolina, which is just about an hour and a half away from us here in Asheville. And so I want you to pay special attention because there are lots of words and terms, and they're very important terms. And I want to make sure, Pastor Kim wants to make sure that you are aware of these terms and that you know what those terms mean for you and for me, for Pastor Kim, for those in our church. And don't worry, there's not going to be a test or a quiz after this, but we do want to make sure that you know what these words mean because they're very important to a lot of people who are in our church. So I do want to say one of the things that Jordan, who is going to be giving us our children's church lesson this morning, they talk about using our pronouns. So I want you to pay special attention or close attention to how Jordan uses pronouns when they introduce themselves. So for instance, I would use the term or the pronouns he, him, his. And so when I introduce myself to you all, I could say, "Hi, my name is Andrew. I use pronouns he, him, his." So if you would like to start using those whenever you introduce yourself to other people, I think that would be fantastic because I need to practice that as well. And so for some people, it is very, very important. And so I want you to watch this video and I want you to learn some stuff that you may not know about. And so watch this video. And I look forward to seeing you next week where we will pick back up on the story of Joseph and his reconciliation with his family. All right, folks, know that you are loved and there's nothing you can do about it. I'll see you next week.
Hey y'all, welcome to Kids Connection. I'm very excited that I get to host this week's segment. My name is Jordan and I use they, them, theirs pronouns. This week, our word is reconciled. Reconciled means making peace with others, making peace within ourselves, and making peace with things in the world that we don't always know how to deal with. Our verse this week comes from Psalm 139, which has been one of my favorite Bible passages since I was little. Psalm 139 tells us that God made us perfectly. God didn't make any mistakes when they made us. From the color of my eyes, to the way my hands move, to the way my legs work differently than other people's, and I use technology to help me get around. God did not make anything wrong with my body or with me, and they didn't make anything wrong with yours. This week, I want to share a really cool idea with all of you to talk about our bodies and how we live in them. So we're going to talk about gender. Gender is the way we understand our body and how it identifies. When we are born, most people are told they are a boy or a girl. These identities usually tell us how we should act, what we should wear, the way that we talk, and so much more. If you stay that gender that you're born with throughout your whole life, we call that cisgender. It means same gender. Sometimes the gender that someone was born with doesn't match up with how they feel about themselves and their body. If they were born a girl, they might choose to become a boy. If they were a boy, they might choose to become a girl. We call this transgender, and it means changing gender. And sometimes people don't feel like either a boy or a girl. We call this non-binary. Now, binary means two, like two options of boy or girl. When people are non-binary, they're neither of the two. They're just simply non-binary. People who are transgender or non-binary might choose to change their body and how they present themselves to the world, but they don't have to. They might change the way that they dress, how they style their hair, whether or not they want to wear makeup, whether or not they want to paint their nails. But it's very important to know that there is no right way to be a certain gender. Cisgender and transgender boys can both have long hair and paint their nails if they want. Cisgender and transgender girls can have short hair and not like dresses if they want. Non-binary people can wear dresses and have short hair, or have long hair and wear suits. There's no right or wrong way to express yourselves. Now, pronouns are the words we use when talking about people and who they are. Most of the time, girls use the words she, her, and hers, like she got her bike and rode to the store. Boys can use the words he, him, and his, like he went to the park with his family. Non-binary people might use the words they, them, and theirs. That's what I use. So it would sound like they wore their blue dress today. Some people might use other pronouns like sie, them, zer, or a, er, ers, or even just their name. And some people might use a couple of different pronouns. This is the genderbread person. They help us understand what gender is and the many ways that people express themselves and their gender. Identity at the top with the brain represents gender identity. This is how someone feels about themselves and their gender. Expression, pointing to the whole body, is how someone expresses their gender identity. This could include clothing, hairstyles, makeup, and more. Attraction with the heart is who you think is cute or who you like. Sex at the bottom with the purple arrows is the physical body you were born with, which could tell your parents if you were a boy or a girl. It's important to remember that these things can change over time. If you were born a girl and want to stay a girl, your gender expression could change based on what kind of clothes you like. If you were born a boy and want to be neither a boy or a girl, your gender identity could change to non-binary. If you think boys are cute, you could later think girls are cute, or you could think that both are cute, or neither. All of these things are okay. God made us perfectly, and they didn't make any mistakes when making us. God gave us the ability to change our bodies and the way we express ourselves. They gave us amazing minds that can think about ourselves and learn new things. And however you feel is not wrong. Your feelings are beautiful and are an expression of who God is in you. Many times, people who change their gender are told that they're wrong or that God doesn't like that. But that's not true. God loves us and made us perfectly. People who are trans have to reconcile and make peace with the world that tells them they're wrong all the time. Here are some ways that you can help people who are trans and non-binary to feel more peace and to feel loved. You can share your pronouns and ask people theirs. So when you meet new friends, you can introduce yourself with your own pronouns and then ask them theirs. So I usually say, "Hi, I'm Jordan, and I use they, them, theirs pronouns. What are yours?" If they don't know, now you can teach them what pronouns are. Because gender is something that's inside of your body, you can't know someone's gender or their pronouns unless you ask them. And if you share your pronouns with them, they'll know you're a safe person to share with. You can also practice using different pronouns. Sometimes it can be hard to learn new pronouns for people, especially if you've known them a long time. That's okay, but if someone tells you what their pronouns are, use them. You can practice using new pronouns with stuffed animals, pets, or animals you see. Hey, that bird has red feathers on their belly. Or, look at my dinosaur, she has really pretty spikes. If you mess up, move on. If you're new to using different pronouns, or if someone you know changes their pronouns and you mess up and use their old ones, that's okay. But don't make a big deal about it. You can say, "Oops, my bad." use their correct pronouns, and move on in the conversation. Making a big deal about it makes that person feel bad and feel like they're a burden. It's very important to use people's pronouns because it makes them feel your love. When you see their gender and acknowledge their identity, it makes them feel God's love too. If you see one of your friends getting teased or bullied because of their gender, you can stand up for them. You can let them know that you see them and love them by supporting them and using their correct pronouns. You can tell them, hey, you're perfect exactly as you are, and I support you. Showing them your love will make them feel so happy. Parents, if you want some resources for how to have more of these conversations with your kids, check out our Kids Connection Facebook page where I'll post my contact information, some awesome websites and videos, and children's books that talk about gender. Thanks for joining me, and remember that God made you special and they love you very much.